What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to everybody that's currently here right now. Thank you very much. We got a special one today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead behind the enemy's lines. And this is the first time we've done this in the last couple of weeks, but I'm super excited about it. Obviously, the Cardinals right now 5-4 with an opportunity to go 6-4 before we hit the bye week. But ain't going to be that easy, ladies and gentlemen. But let me go ahead and give a huge shout out here to BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sportsbook, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. All right, everybody, let's go and get started here. Let me go and bring my guy up in here, Richie from Jets Media, to talk all things Jets. What's up, brother, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on, man. Excited to talk some ball. Jets, Cardinals. Appreciate you having me on as always, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on here. A lot of things. So obviously talking about just the Jets in general. A lot of hype coming into the 2024 season. Obviously Aaron Rodgers, and then you guys got after Davante Adams. A lot of expectations. I want to just kind of get a grasp of how you're feeling about the Jets right now, sitting at 3-6. Are you disappointed? I know I've kind of listened to a couple of your different rant videos. Funny. So I just want to go put it out there. But how are your thoughts so far in the Jets?
Yeah, I think you can go check out my rant videos to get a raw emotion reaction of when we've been losing so much. And you said the word disappointment, and that's exactly how I feel. I mean, you talk about this Jets team that brought in Aaron Rodgers last year for him to tear his Achilles. The season was lost after week 1 last season. And then they load up again, another season of hype. We bring in all these guys. You trade for Davante Adams, and we're still sitting at 3-6. So not feeling great right now. I'm very disappointed in my football team because when you go all in the way that the New York Jets have done, and for it to not come together on the field, when you look at the talent on paper, you're just figuring each other out. What's the issue? They fire their coach midway through the season. Not even midway, man. Right when the season began, it felt like, which was a really interesting decision from our owners. But all in all, the Jets have dug themselves in a gigantic hole, and they got to be the ones that dig themselves out.
Absolutely. Right now, you guys are sitting at the second spot in the division, in the AFC East. How are you feeling about the East just in general? I mean, thankfully, the Miami Dolphins have been going through some injuries. The Patriots are rebuilding right now. Are you kind of, I'm not going to ask if you're happy, but do you find a path to potentially make the playoffs currently right now sitting at 3-6?
Yeah, but it's definitely not with the division. I think the Buffalo Bills ran away with it. I think that they're going to win this division for the 5th straight season, which is unfortunate because in the offseason, I can definitely tell you I thought this was a season where the Jets can finally compete for the division with the Buffalo Bills. And I think that L that we took on Monday night to the Buffalo Bills a few weeks ago, which is where for the AFC's roundtable event, that was a game where if we won, we would have been tied for first place. And we barely lost that game because of our kicker, all different issues. And then we just been losing ever since. We're finally getting our first win last week. So the only path for the playoffs is going on a win streak and try to squeak in as a 7th seed because there's no room for error anymore. The playoffs start now for the Jets. There's no more loses. We can afford like one more loss the rest of the season. And I don't know if this Jets team has what it takes to go on a run after I saw them lose to the damn Patriots.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously the Cardinals have an opportunity to put the fork in your guys' season here. I mean, and it's the thing, like we're not a team that's, I don't know how you guys perceive the Arizona Cardinals from the outside looking in, and we're going to dive into that a little later on, but I kind of want to get your take here on Aaron Rodgers and has he gave the expectations to this fan base so far. I mean, obviously 3-6, it's not, but like, how is his play individually? Is he the Aaron Rodgers of old, or are you seeing a regression of Aaron Rodgers' play?
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers, when you think of that name, you think of one of the all-time greats. And when he became a Jet, we all were expecting at least some version of that, and he hasn't done it. And I think that he's not playing to his standard. But then you look at the stats, you look at what he's doing. He's not playing bad. He's not playing trash football. He's actually the best quarterback the Jets have had in a long time, statistically speaking. That's also how bad the Jets quarterbacks have been my entire life. But at the same time, we expected Rodgers to come in here and not only have an impact on the field, but impact a winning mindset, a winning culture. And that's the big issue right now. It doesn't all fall on Aaron Rodgers, but we expected him to come here and kind of really establish a new mindset in this locker room. And right now, that's not the case. And I think a lot of that has to do with the ownership. Himself is to blame, players around him. But there's a lot of positive momentum right now coming off that win against Houston, where Garrett Wilson completely having his star moment, with Davante Adams finally finding the end zone for the first time as a Jet. So there's a lot of positive momentum to build off of. We had one good half against the Houston Texans, and now we're hopeful that we can really use that momentum going in, even though the Cardinals are a team coming off a really impressive victory. So they got positive momentum as well, which is why you look at BetUS, the odds are dead even for this game.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. And I'm not even used to that. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals are usually underdogs when it comes down to it. But hey, we'll take anything we possibly can. Let me ask you about your run game here with Breece Hall. Probably one of the, top 10, maybe top, I guess whoever you're asking. Breece Hall is a really good running back. And you got that really young running back that you guys just drafted this year in Allen. What is going on with him? Is this offense mainly run through Aaron Rodgers? Do they sometimes forget that the run exists? What's going on with the inconsistencies of Breece Hall? I'm not saying that when he doesn't pop off, he's not good or great. It just almost kind of feels like the game plan is not for a run type of offense. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's more the game plan is, but the execution is failing. Like the Jets want to run the football and they try and they try. And for whatever reason, the upfront just is a lack of execution from an offensive line perspective. Like you just get Breece Hall the ball and there's three guys in his face immediately, and he can only do so much. So with Jeff Ulbrich, whenever he took over as the Jets interim head coach, his first thing was we need to run the football. He's a physical, old school type of coach. He wants to run that thing, and we have the talent and Breece to do it. We're actually coming off a pretty decent game on the ground last week, and we're trying to build off of it. But the biggest piece about Breece Hall is his weapon out of the backfield as well. He is somebody that if you can just dump it off to him, say, you're focused on Garrett and Devontae down the field, you dink it down to Breece Hall underneath, he can pick up the first down, even take it the distance. That's how dynamic he is. So the Jets are really going to try to establish that run game because that's what sets up the play action, and it also frees things up when you add Devontae and you have Garrett Wilson. Which one are you going to guard? Because you've got a double team Garrett. Okay, you'll single one-on-one with Devontae, but it also frees up Breece. So that's what the Jets' mindset is as they're trying to get in rhythm after the addition of Devontae Adams.
Okay. No, obviously a big splash play with Devontae Adams. So far, you've had him for 2 games. The first game wasn't very much to talk about, just obviously trying to get used to the offense and stuff like that. The second game, what was the stat line? Definitely, he got a touchdown. What was the rest of it? Do you remember on top of your
I
head?
think it was like 9 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown, or maybe
Whoa,
80.
okay.
And he left for a few bit for a concussion. And then Garrett had 9 catches, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, this duo is there. It's just a matter of them really coming together. And whoever you double team, let's go after the guy who's not getting double team. That should be the philosophy.
How's your offensive line? Where do you rank them?
Banged up.
Is it?
Banged up right now, man. We brought in Tyron Smith, our left tackle, who is an all-time great first ballot Hall of Famer for the Cowboys. But for us, he's not been that same player.
Okay.
He's kind of feel like a little washed up. We have our first-round pick, Olu Fashanu, that we drafted from Penn State that we're waiting to take over his position. He had the plug-in at right guard last week. He's never played right guard in his entire life. Never in high school, college, never. But that's how bad the injuries are for the Jets. Our starting right guard, Elijah Vera-Tucker, still out. Our left guard went down with the groin, John Simpson. Morgan Moses, our right tackle, is dealing with the knee problem all season. So we're banged up on the offensive line, and the depth is getting tested right now. So we're vulnerable up front, to say the least, because that's what's supposed to be our identity, and it's not working out so far.
Wow. Well, whenever the Arizona Cardinals play anybody that has a banged up O-line, and here's the thing, we don't have the best pass rusher. And I think that's kind of one of the things that we've been talking about in this trade deadline. We wanted to, obviously the big name out there was Azeez Ojulari to kind of reunite the Ojulari brothers. That didn't happen. We go after Baron Browning to hopefully give us some sort of help in the edge rushing core. But we do pretty darn good. We provided 6 sacks against the rookie and Caleb Williams. Now, granted, rookie compared to obviously a veteran that knows how to kind of and seeing all these different disguises. I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to try to attack you and provide pressure like nobody's business, especially when Aaron Rodgers is back there, because he's surgical. He knows what he's doing back there. So I'm curious to figure out how this Arizona Cardinal offense is going to be able to attack that. Defense to attack that O line of yours.
But let me ask you guys, I have a quick question. Are the Cardinals a heavy blitzing team?
Not heavy. I wouldn't say we're heavy. We do send blitzes, but it's not heavy. No, it's not. We disguise it very, very well. Like Nick Rallis' defense is very, very disguisable, but it works very well for like rookies, right? But since you're Aaron Rodgers, it might not really work out.
Because he picked apart the blitz last week. That's why I asked.
Yeah. We're not. No, we're not. We do expect which is ironic because we don't have the best front four, but we do expect our front four to get back there.
That's like the Jets. That's the Jets philosophy. So it's like a 4-3 base. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. What are your thoughts on the Arizona Cardinals right now? I know, obviously, you probably don't watch every single Arizona Cardinal game, and I don't expect you to, but 5-4 right now. How do you see them as a team outside looking in? And we're trying to compete for the West ourselves.
Yeah, I actually, I have a show covering the entire NFL with TD and Dan on the huddle. And I attach myself to certain teams in the offseason, like, oh, because we preview every single team and I have opinions on every team on that show. And I was the only one that's been high on the Arizona Cardinals, the only one that's been giving Kyler Murray love. Well, TD is the opposite. He's anti Kyler. Well, how about that? The Arizona Cardinals beat the Dolphins like I told them would
With
happen.
Tua.
I think the Arizona Cardinals are very slept on. I always love Kyler Murray. I feel like he's an underrated quarterback, and he's showing the ability that not a lot of quarterbacks have, of the ability to just keep the play alive, extend the play, not only be dynamic with your legs, picking up the first down, even getting touchdowns on the ground, but extending the play behind the line of scrimmage to allow your, weapons of Harrison and all these boys to just go out there and make some plays. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is such a phenomenal piece to your team. Trey McBride is a guy that I was so high on pre-draft, that draft. I wanted the Jets to get him so bad. He's a stud, exactly what I thought he'd be for you guys. James Conner is a guy that's just a bowling ball. Really hard to going to wrap him up. The Jets have problem with tackling. So I think the Cardinals are a slept-on team. I think the path for you guys is the division because of how tough the NFC conference is in terms of the wild card race. Yep. But you guys are kind of doing what I expected. I felt like you guys were underrated. I'm not saying I'm like in the majority here. I feel like the consensus of the Cardinals beyond your fan base, right, was they're not going to be good. I felt like you guys had a chance to kind of prove people wrong this year. And so far it's looking good. And I feel like Jets fans are worried about the Cardinals. No one's looking at this team and being like, oh yeah, we're going to beat the Cardinals, man. The Cardinals stink. No one's thinking that. We think you guys have a really good team that are solid and a quarterback that I just know right now, Kyler Murray's going to drive me nuts. Like, third down and 10, and he's just going to do something that's just going to be impossible to bring him down, and he's going to drive me insane. So it's going to be a tough game for the Jets.
All right, two-parter, and I'm gonna leave you after this. What is the path for you guys in the Jets to win this game? Just give you a little insight. The Arizona Cardinals aren't the best at run defense. We have stopped a few different good running backs out there, but what is the path for you guys to get a win here over the Cardinals?
Yeah, I've been very consistent with this with the Jets these past few weeks. Our defense is still very good, but we cannot rely on our defense. This offense needs to click, okay? We saw a second half of phenomenal offensive play for the Jets. We need to score points. We need to put up 28 to 31 points. The key is simple. Score touchdowns on offense. We get to the red zone, but we don't capitalize in the red zone. So this Jets team got to run the football, and Aaron Rodgers got to go out there and put up 3 to 4 touchdowns in total and win this game on offense, because I'm so sick of relying on a defense that is not as good as it once was to win football games.
Absolutely. Do you do predictions? I always ask first. Do you do predictions?
Yeah.
What's your prediction on this game?
This prediction is going to be very interesting because last week I picked against the Jets in the Texans game, and it worked. I think the Cardinals are going to come out this way, man. I don't know. Oh no, man, no! But I think this is gonna be a thriller. I think this is gonna be a game that comes down to the last wire. I'm predicting like a 31-28 type of game. I don't think either defense is gonna really shut either team down. The Jets are coming off one of their best games at getting to the passer. 8 sacks we had, and we have Quinton Williams dominating right now up front. Will McDonald, third in the NFL in sacks, our second-year edge rusher. Hassan Reddick is getting comfortable now.
Right.
So I really think this defense is getting better right now at a right time, but they got to contain Kyler Murray. So I think it's going to be a thriller, and it's going to come down to like the last possession. 31-28 is the final score, and I'll say the Cardinals will win.
Oh, I hate you. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to close up shop, man. I know you got limited time. Thank you so very much, Richie, for jumping on. Everybody, we will have his channel pinned here in the description below. Go and show him some love. He does exactly what I do, but obviously for his respective team, the New York Jets. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all for tuning as always. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cardinals.